Science has found a whole new kingdom of life. Let's see this.
400 million years ago, life on Earth looked very different to today. Forget
Bro, 400 million years ago was before the dinosaurs, right? Like the dinosaurs, they evolved around 250 million years ago.
pristine forests. The early Devonian was an alien world of mosses and lichen,
An alien
where
world.
the largest
That's cool.
plants were no taller than knee height. Things were getting boisterous below the waves, but up above all was quiet. The only animals to have colonized land so far were the arthropods, early arachnids and millipedes.
Oh, that's cool. That looks like a tick, like an ancient tick.
If you were transported back in time to this ancient landscape, you would feel like a giant, and very quickly struggle to find food. I hope you like fish.
I love fish, bro. I'll be dreaming the life.
But there were still large life forms in this primitive world. Peppering the landscape, cylindrical pillars known as Prototaxites.
Oh, that's cool. What is Prototaxites? Prototaxites. What the heck? That's sick.
Stood like slightly suggestive sentinels, towering high above everything else. Though there were small species too.
Is that like an ancient tree?
The tallest Prototaxites loomed 6 to 9 meters tall.
That's like 9 meters tall is like a 26 feet, right? Like a 26 feet box truck.
They
Something
would
like that.
eventually be dwarfed by the trees that would replace them, but for about 50 million years, these were the only giants on dry land. Prototaxites fossils have been found from America to Europe, and fossilized boreholes reveal they were an important part of the early Devonian ecosystem, providing food and shelter for their tiny arthropod neighbours. Despite looking like limbless, leafless trees with meter-wide trunks, they have long been believed to be a form of fungi, real-life giant mushrooms. But a new study of well-preserved fossils from the Rhynie Chert deposit in Scotland has...
I wonder if it was if that tree was poisoning, because like it's a type of fungi, but like I guess mold is a type of fungi, but like not all fungi are like a mushroom. Bro, imagine like a giant mushroom. Like I bet we had those, like the tree they're talking about, the freaking tree that I can't pronounce the name.
It's revealed that Prototaxites was not a fungus
Prototaxites.
after all. These scientists claim the genus belongs to an entirely new kingdom of life, one we know tantalizingly little about. We'll get to that in just a minute, but first it's worth looking...
Bro, that reminds me, like when I was a kid, I really wanted to have, my dream was to have a tree house. But now, could you imagine like if my tree house was made out of that Prototaxites? I think I got it right. I don't know. Imagine, bro, a tree house made out of that thing, man. Like you just kind of like carve it inside, and then you can just make like infinite tunnels, and then at some point you just get into the back rooms probably. But bro, that would be like super cool. Why don't we? Can we not like bring those back somehow? Like with all the genetics technology that we have, that we're able to bring like instinct animals. Like how about trees like this, bro? That's sick.
Looking at the history of
Could you imagine you go to Walmart and then you ask for a Prototaxites? No, I can't say this. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it. Could you imagine go to Walmart and buy this thing and put it in your front yard? That would be sick.
Prototaxites, which has puzzled paleontologists for a long time, thanks to its curious combination of plant and fungi-like features. They're superficially tree-like, but a microscope reveals they're made up of interwoven tubes, a bit like the hyphae that form the mycelium of mushrooms. When Prototaxites was first discovered, it was thought to be two organisms, an ancient rotting conifer fossilized alongside the fungus using it as a home/snack. Then it was believed to be a bizarre breed of algae, despite living on land. Different theories were tossed around over the years, until 2007, when the possibility that Prototaxites was a plant was firmly stamped out by scientists examining their carbon isotopes.
So what is it?
Plants
is it just a freaking organism?
Living around the same time, have similar ratios of the stable carbon isotopes C12 and C13, because they all take in their carbon from the atmosphere, which is relatively constant wherever you are on Earth, and they all process it through photosynthesis. Heterotrophs consume carbon from other organisms, and because they take it in from different sources, their ratio of carbon isotopes can be much more varied, matching whatever they eat. And different Prototaxites specimens have
Prototaxites.
different carbon isotope ratios, which means they weren't photosynthesizing and must have been a consumer like an animal or a fungus.
So that's more like a freaking organism that it's more like a fungus rather than a tree.
Since this clearly wasn't an animal, that left only one option. Doesn't this seem like a fungi? There were still some problems though. For instance, modern fungi thrive on organic material, and without trees or large land animals running around dying or defecating, the early Devonian didn't have much biomass to support something of Prototaxites' size. One idea was that Prototaxites
Bro, the earth was probably so cool back in the days though, even though with like, yeah, it was maybe like a little bit a little bit scary, but it was really like an alien world, like an alien realm with a bunch of giant like species of fungi and trees and a bunch of weird bugs and bacteria, you know what I mean? Like,
was like lichen, a fungus in symbiosis with photosynthesizing algae, two organisms functioning as one. But no evidence of this photosynthesizing friend has ever been found, even in the best preserved Prototaxites fossils. There are other options too though. Mushrooms are just the part of fungi used to disperse spores, and the majority of the organism is hidden underground. Prototaxites may have been a fruiting body of an organism supporting itself with an especially massive network of underground mycelia, vast webs for gathering nutrients. Another theory is that these trunks were growing sideways, not upwards, a big mass of foraging rhizomes which could branch out to locate new sources of energy. Think the Stranger Things vines, only less murdery. But a new study,
dang.
first released in 2025 and now peer-reviewed, pokes holes in the whole fungal theory. Examining a particularly good
Bro, fungus are a good looking like organism, I guess. Like mushrooms are the coolest looking thing, you know what I mean?
These scientists were able to look at the organisms more closely than ever before, and they found structures we wouldn't usually expect to see in a fungus. For instance, many Prototaxites species have these clearly visible medullary spots. Zooming in to see the fine details, those spots turn out to be complex networks of different types of interconnected tubes, including some that are absolutely minuscule, 10 times smaller than those that form the surrounding body. The paper notes that these areas look a bit like blood capillary networks.
Bro, the world is just so complex. Like when you last imagine, like we're talking about like a freaking fungi that was, lived hundreds of millions of years ago, that is just as complex as like the plants that we have nowadays.
Or the alveoli in our lungs, and may have had a similar function. They probably played a role in the exchange of gas, nutrients, or water, and don't match anything found in fungi. The paper also describes how a small number of the tubes in Prototaxites are banded, reinforced with regular ring-like thickenings. Again, there aren't good analogues in fungi. These actually resemble the tracheid cells used for transporting water in plants. Simultaneously, the authors suggest they may have provided structural support, allowing Prototaxites to grow so tall. This evidence might not have been enough to change minds if it wasn't presented alongside more compelling chemical analysis. The cell walls of fungi contain chitin, the same material found in insect exoskeletons, and it's doing the same job, providing structural support for the organism. Examining the composition of the Prototaxites specimens using infrared spectroscopy, the scientists found it was lacking the molecules they'd expect to see form when chitin fossilizes. In fact, helpfully, this area, the Rhine chert, contains plenty of fungus and arthropod fossils, allowing for easy comparison. This graph shows how the molecular makeup of Prototaxites.
Bro, I feel like I'm in a school right now. I feel like I went back to freaking like, I don't know, like my junior year. I'm in a science class learning all about fungi, and then I'm gonna have a test next week, and then the teacher's gonna come and give me the test, and I'll be like, what is that fungi organism called that lived 400 million years ago? And I'll be like, Prototaxis or something like that. Like, I'm gonna get a 0, bro. Luckily I'm out of school now. That's crazy.
Turns out to be very different to that of the nearby fungi and insects, and very different to the plant as well. So just as the earlier work on carbon isotopes ruled out the plants, this new evidence rules out the fungus kingdom as well. In fact, the authors helpfully included this flowchart, showing how by process of elimination...
Bro, this is all information I'm gonna forget about it next week. Like, what the heck? That's a crazy graph. Unless if you love fungi, I paused it for you to read about it, bro.
every possibility is crossed out one by one,
Oh
until the only
gosh.
answer we have left is, this must be something altogether new. Prototaxites turns out to be not mammoth mushrooms, but something much stranger, an extinct kingdom, and a giant life form with no known close relationship to anything else on Earth.
Long story short, let's bring him back. I don't care if it's a fungi. I don't care if it looks weird. I don't care if it's freaking like poisoning or whatever it is. Let's try to bring him back. I want to go to Walmart and buy a Prototaxis. I'm just gonna call it Prototaxis. Sounds cooler. All right, let's watch the next one.